Hey, hello investors and future investors, welcome to the channel. In today's video I will show you 3 dividend stocks that can also be used for option trading, and they can all be used if you're trading with a small account. These stocks will need to meet 3 very important criteria in order to make the list. So if you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. On this channel we help you with option strategies, dividends and other investments that can give you consistent revenue in order for you to grow your small account. We can all make weekly revenue if we want to. So I'll definitely show you what I'm doing on my end in order to generate revenue. Now, all I ask in return for this free content is an early thumbs up by you hitting the like button, and consider subscribing for more ways to increase your investments. Welcome to Investment Gains. Let's jump right into it. Hello future investors and traders, welcome back to the channel. Today's video will showcase 3 dividend stocks that can also be used for options trading. And here are the 3 criteria that must be met in order for them to make the list. Criteria number 1. These dividend stocks that can also be used for option trading needs to be affordable, so they can be used if you're trading with a small account. Criteria number 2. These stocks must be able to be traded on a weekly basis in order for you to generate weekly revenue. As you know, on this channel we support making weekly revenue by way of options, dividends and other investments. Criteria number 3. These stocks must be able to pay a dividend yield of 5% or higher. Now, every option trader knows that dividend stocks are the worst for option trading, and that's because they pay very low or zero premium. But after some serious digging, I was able to find a few. I will walk you through the dividend advantages and also the option advantages and make sure that they all meet our 3 criteria. So we're gonna get started with our first stock on the list, which is gonna be Verizon Technologies, ticker VZ. Okay, so here we are on Verizon, and now we're gonna go check out the movement during 1 week. Now during 1 week, there was movement in Verizon of just 44 cents. Now let's go a bit further out to the 1 month chart. Now here you can see for the 1 month price movement for Verizon, Verizon actually moved about $1.30 for the entire 4-week period, which goes to show that this stock is pretty much stable, which means it doesn't move too drastically in either direction. Now let's go down and check out the dividend yield to see if it makes sure it hits our first criteria. And it does. As you can see here, Verizon is paid upwards of a 7% dividend yield, which beats our criteria of 5% dividend yield or higher, which is extremely good. Now, just an added bonus, I always like to go ahead and check out the volume. Now, what the volume does is that when you go to trade option, the volume allows you to enter and exit very easily if the volume is very high. With an average volume of 44 million, this one definitely checks off those boxes. Okay, so now I'm going to check out the current price compared to the 52-week high and also the 52-week low. Now, the current price is around $34, which is way closer to the 52-week low of $31. Which is going to help you make the decision of which option strategy I actually want to use on this stock. So let's go ahead and check out the options now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go over to sell and call, and I'm going to choose my strike date of August 4th. So this should tell you that I'm going to do a covered call on Verizon. The reason for that is that because the current share price is so close to the 52-week low, I would actually want to own this stock because it shows me there's more upside to it than there is downside. Now, the price I will be going with, the strike price, is going to be 34.5. The reason for that is because once I do this trade, I will be receiving around $48 into my buying power. That $48 is mine to keep no matter how this trade goes. So Verizon does check off our 3 criteria. The share price is affordable, that it can be used for small accounts. It does trade weekly option, and it does pay a dividend of upwards of 5%. Now, buying the stock price so close to the share price comes with a bit of risk. However, because this stock hardly moves, the risk has been lower. Also, if this trade does go against you, I will give you a bonus option strategy that can be used so you can continue making weekly revenue. Now let's move on to our second stock on the list, and let's make sure it hits all 3 of our criteria. So our second stock is going to be Enterprise, ticker EPD. Okay, so here we are on Enterprise, and now we're going to go ahead once again. We're going to check out our weekly chart as well as our monthly chart. And as you can see, for the week, it just moved around 17 cents, and for the month, it moved just about $1, which shows that it's stable once again. Now let's go down. We're going to check out our dividend yield on this, see if it checks off our criteria, and once again, it does. The dividend yield here is upwards of 5%. As you can see here, it pays higher than 7% dividend yield, which is absolutely amazing. Now, Once again, the volume checks off with more than 4 million average volume, so it makes it easier to enter and exit the trade. Now the last thing I'm going to look at is the current share price compared to the 52-week low as opposed to the 52-week high. Now in this instance, you can see that the current share price around $27 is way closer to the 52-week high of $27.36, which is going to now have me change my option strategy. So let's go ahead. We're going to go into trade EPD options. And now I'm going to go over to sell and put, and I'm going to choose my strike price of August 4th. Now, as you can see here, I'm going to do a different option strategy for EPD, and that's going to be a cash secured put. The reason I decided to go the cash secured put route is because the current share price is way too close to the weekly high, which gives me an indication that there's much more downside to this stock than there is upside. So now I'm going to go ahead and choose my strike price, and I'm going to go with the 26.5 strike price. And for that, I will be receiving $19 into my buying power, which is mine to keep no matter how this trade goes. Now, the reason I'm going to choose the 26.5 strike price is that if I do get assigned, I will be picking up 100 shares at a much lower cost than the current share price. Now, let's make sure this stock also checks off our three criteria. As we saw earlier, the dividend yield is upwards of 7%, and now the share price is around $27, which makes it affordable for smaller accounts. We also see that it trades weekly options, which is good for option trading. So EPD or enterprise definitely does check off all our boxes. So that's one you could definitely keep your eye on. Okay, so here we are on our third dividend stock that can also be used for option trading. Once again, we're going to go to the weekly chart to see the price movement. And as you can see, it just moved around 73 cents for the entire week. And let's go to the monthly chart. It moved about 158. Once again, this stock is pretty stable in my opinion. Now let's go ahead and check out the dividend yield. Once again, it does hit our first criteria of a dividend yield of higher than 5%. As you can see here, it pays upwards of 6% dividend yield. Once again, we're going to check out our average volume, and it comes in here at around 14 million, which is good in order for us to trade, getting in and getting out of trade, as I mentioned a couple of times. Now, lastly, we're going to compare the current price with the 52-week high and the 52-week low. Now, judging from this looks like it's smack in the middle of the 52-week low of $16 and the 52-week high of $19. So let's go ahead to trade KMI options, and now I'm going to go to sell, and I'm going to go to put, and I'm going to choose the strike date of August 4th. Now, once again, you see that I'm going to do the cash secured put on this dividend stock. The reason for this is that I think I stand a better chance of going the cash secured put route as opposed to the covered call, and I will try to get 100 shares of this stock at a much lower price. So with my cash secured put, the share price I would be going with is the $18 share price, and for that I will be receiving $27. Now that we're receiving $27 for our trade, let's just make sure this stock covers our three criteria once again. So you did see that it pays a 6% dividend yield, so that covers criteria number 1. It is able to trade on a weekly basis, so criteria number 2. And based on the current share price of around $18, anyone with a small account should be able to trade this stock. So you should be asking yourself, why am I choosing my strike prices so close to the current share price? Now the reason for that is that if you do get assigned, you can now go and implement a third strategy in order to continue making weekly revenue. Remember, the first strategy was these stocks could give us a dividend. The second strategy is that we can now use these dividend stocks and also make weekly options. And the third strategy that can be used is that if you do get assigned, you could now go ahead and do what we call the wheel strategy. Now, so if you do start off by selling a covered call and you do get assigned, you could now go ahead and do a cash secured put, and vice versa. If you start off selling a cash secured put and you are assigned, you could go ahead and do a covered call. Here's a bonus strategy to look out for when trading these dividend stocks that we're using for options. Always make sure that you own the stock outright before the ex-dividend date. That way you can go ahead and get dividends on the next quarterly payouts. Now, we have lots of investment strategies on this channel, so if you want to join the weekly income team, like and subscribe right now. Also, hit the notification bell right now to get an alert when I post a video. But most importantly, please share this video with someone you think that can benefit from its content. Let's help as many as we can. Remember, a salary will give you a living, but your investment gains will give you a lifestyle.